What if the difference between being ignored and being deeply desired was just a few sentences? Not flashy lines. Not tricks. Just a few simple phrases said with the right energy, at the right moment. Because here's the truth most men never realize. Attraction isn't built by talking more. It's built by saying the right things, calmly, intentionally, and then letting silence do the rest. Today I'm going to show you 6 phrases that quietly change the dynamic between you and a woman. Words that make her feel seen, understood, and curious about you in a way she rarely experiences. If you're new here, subscribe to Stoic Quiet Strength, a place built on one principle: power in silence. We talk about calm confidence, emotional intelligence, and the kind of presence that makes people feel something without you needing to force it. And as you listen, I want you to notice something. Which phrase hits you the hardest? Drop it in the comments when you hear it. Now let's begin. The first phrase is simple. But when used correctly, it's unforgettable. You have a rare energy about you. Most men try to get a woman's attention the obvious way. They compliment her appearance. You're beautiful. You look amazing. You're stunning. And look, there's nothing wrong with that. But the truth is she hears those words all the time. From strangers. From coworkers. From men on social media. Compliments about appearance are common. And when something becomes common, it loses emotional weight. But when you say something like, "You have a rare energy about you," something different happens. Now she pauses. Because she's not sure exactly what you mean. And that's powerful. You're not talking about her body. You're noticing something deeper, something about the way she carries herself. The way she laughs. The way she speaks. The way she listens. Curiosity begins. And curiosity is the first doorway to attraction. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." In other words, real presence speaks for itself. A calm man who observes people, who pays attention, who notices subtle things, naturally stands out. When you say this phrase, you're communicating something without saying it directly. You're saying, "I see more than most people do." And women are incredibly sensitive to that kind of awareness. But timing matters. You don't say this randomly 5 seconds after meeting her. You say it when something about her stands out. Maybe she tells a story with passion. Maybe she laughs in a way that lights up the room. Maybe she expresses a thought in a way that shows depth. That's when you say it. Slowly. Calmly. You have a rare energy about you. Then stop. Don't rush to explain it. Silence is where the impact lies. Because now she's wondering something. What exactly did he notice? And the moment someone begins thinking about how you see them, the connection deepens. Here's something most men never realize. Many women feel seen on the surface, but rarely understood. People notice their beauty, their clothes, their appearance. But very few people notice their presence. And when someone does, it leaves a mark. That's why this phrase works. It doesn't try to impress. It reveals awareness. Seneca once said, "He who is brave is free." Confidence is not loud. It's quiet observation. The ability to speak calmly, without needing approval. And when a woman feels that kind of grounded energy from you, she relaxes. She becomes curious. She begins to look at you differently. Now here's something I want you to do. Think about the last time someone noticed something unique about you, not your job, not your appearance, but something deeper. How did it make you feel? Write that in the comments. I read and reply to them. Because the truth is, being seen is one of the most powerful human experiences. And when a woman associates that feeling with you, she remembers you. Now let's move to the next phrase. This one subtly flips the entire dynamic of attraction. The second phrase is this. I admire women who know what they want. This line does something most men don't realize. It establishes a standard. You see, when many men talk to a woman they're attracted to, they unconsciously start trying to win her approval. They laugh too quickly. They agree with everything she says. They try to be extra charming. Without realizing it, they place her on a pedestal. And the energy changes. Now she's the prize, and he's the one auditioning. But when you calmly say something like, I admire women who know what they want, you shift the frame. You're not asking for approval. You're expressing a value. And values are attractive. Because they show clarity. Epictetus once said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. A man who knows what he respects, what he appreciates, what he expects, moves differently in conversations. He doesn't chase attention. He evaluates character. And that's exactly what this phrase communicates. When you say it, she begins to wonder something. Does he see me as someone who knows what she wants? That question pulls her into the interaction. Now she's subconsciously trying to show that she fits the quality you admire. That's attraction happening in a subtle way. But again, timing matters. Imagine she's talking about her goals, her career, her ambitions. Or maybe she confidently expresses an opinion. That's your moment. You look at her, nod slightly, and say, I admire women who know what they want. No dramatic tone. No over-explanation. Just calm recognition. And here's the important part. You don't immediately follow it with 10 more sentences. You let the moment breathe. Because powerful words don't need noise. Marcus Aurelius also wrote, let your eyes observe nature. Let your speech be calm. Calm speech creates emotional gravity. People lean into it. Now here's a question for you. Do you think confidence attracts women more, or does emotional awareness attract them more? Write confidence or awareness in the comments. I'm curious what you think. Because the most powerful men combine both. Confidence gives direction. Awareness creates connection. And when you bring those two together in conversation, something rare happens. She feels both challenged and understood. That combination is magnetic. Now the third phrase takes things even deeper. And when used at the right moment, it can completely change how a woman sees you. The third phrase is this. That's one of the things I respect most about you. Listen carefully to that word, respect. Most men compliment women. Very few men respect them out loud. And the difference between those two things is massive. Compliments feel nice for a moment. Respect goes deeper. It touches identity. When you tell someone you respect something about them, you're saying something powerful. You're telling them that a part of who they are, their values, their character, their way of thinking, has weight in your eyes. And that lands differently. Think about the kind of compliments women hear every day. You're pretty. You're cute. I like your hair. Nice. Sure. Memorable. Not really. But when you say something like, that's one of the things I respect most about you, the conversation suddenly moves into deeper territory. Now she's wondering what exactly earned that respect. And that curiosity pulls her closer emotionally. This works best when she reveals something meaningful about herself. Maybe she talks about how she stood up for something she believed in. Maybe she shares a challenge she went through. Maybe she speaks passionately about helping people, building something, or staying loyal to her values. That's when you say it. You pause slightly. Look at her calmly. Then say, "That's one of the things I respect most about you." Then if you want, you can gently name the trait. The way you stayed true to yourself. The way you handled that situation. The way you care about that. But don't turn it into a speech. Just acknowledge it, and let the moment breathe. Because something important happens inside her when she hears that word, respect. She stops feeling like she's being evaluated for how attractive she is. Instead, she feels recognized for who she is. And that kind of recognition is rare. Seneca once wrote, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." Respect is a form of kindness that many people forget to offer. And when someone receives it genuinely, they remember it. Now here's something interesting. When you respect someone openly, you also elevate yourself. Why? Because respect reveals standards. A man who respects character is a man who values character. That's powerful. You're not just talking to her as someone who is trying to impress her. You're someone who notices strength, values depth, and speaks with intention. And that's incredibly attractive. Because women are used to being admired. They are not used to being respected by men who are calm, grounded, and emotionally aware. Now I want you to think about something. Have you ever met someone who respected something about you that no one else noticed? What was it? Write it in the comments. Because moments like that stay in our memory for years. And the same thing can happen in conversations you have with women. One sentence can become unforgettable. Now let's move to the fourth phrase. This one creates something even more powerful than admiration. It creates emotional safety. The fourth phrase is this. You make conversations feel easy. At first glance, this phrase seems simple. Almost too simple. But the emotional effect it creates is incredibly strong. Because most conversations between men and women carry invisible pressure. He's trying to impress. She's trying to read his intentions. Both people are slightly performing. Filtering their words. Choosing what to reveal, and what to hide. But when a conversation actually flows, when it feels natural, when both people relax, that's rare. And when you acknowledge that moment, you create something deeper. Imagine you've been talking with her for a while. The conversation moves easily. You laugh naturally. Maybe you share stories, ideas, even personal thoughts. Then you look at her and say calmly. You make conversations feel easy. Something inside her softens. Because what you're really saying is this. I feel comfortable around you. You're not complimenting her appearance. You're appreciating the emotional environment she creates. And that kind of appreciation is incredibly meaningful. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." A man who truly listens creates the kind of space where conversations flow. And when a woman senses that she can speak freely with you, that you're not rushing her, judging her, or trying to dominate the conversation, she begins to relax. Walls come down. And when emotional walls drop, attraction grows naturally. Because attraction thrives in comfort. Think about it. When do people feel most connected? Not when someone is trying to impress them. But when they feel like they can simply be themselves. That's what this phrase communicates. You make conversations feel easy. And when she hears that, she starts associating you with that feeling. Comfort. Ease. Presence. Now here's a subtle detail most men overlook. Your tone matters more than the words themselves. Don't say it like a line. Say it like a realization. Almost like you just noticed it in the moment. You know something, you make conversations feel easy. Then continue the conversation naturally. No awkward pause. No dramatic delivery. Just calm recognition. Marcus Aurelius wrote something powerful that applies perfectly here. He said, the tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say. Or think. Or do. Only what you do. When you speak calmly and honestly without trying to control the outcome, your presence becomes more powerful. And people feel that. Now here's something I want to ask you. Have you ever talked with someone where the conversation just flowed effortlessly? No pressure. No awkwardness. If you've experienced that, write "flow" in the comments. Because that feeling is exactly what this phrase reinforces. And when a woman feels that flow with you, she begins to associate you with emotional ease. Which is something many people crave. Now the next phrase, the fifth one, is where things move into a deeper level of attraction. Because it touches something most people rarely acknowledge. The mind. The fifth phrase is this. There's something about the way you think that I really admire. Now this phrase reaches a place that most men never go. The mind. Most interactions between men and women stay on the surface. Appearance, flirting, light jokes, maybe a compliment here and there. But very rarely does someone stop and acknowledge the way another person thinks. And yet, the mind is where identity lives. Values. Beliefs. Perspectives. Experiences. When you recognize someone's thinking, you're recognizing something much deeper than their appearance. You're acknowledging the lens through which they see the world. And that is powerful. Imagine she shares an opinion about something important. Maybe it's about relationships, life choices, ambition, or how she handles difficult situations. Instead of just nodding or changing the topic, you pause and say, "There's something about the way you think that I really admire." Now she feels understood in a completely different way. Not just heard, understood. And that creates a connection that most conversations never reach. Seneca once said, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." A thoughtful woman respects a man who values thoughtful conversation. When you say this phrase, you're quietly communicating something important about yourself. You're showing that you value depth. You're not just interested in beauty or charm. You appreciate intelligence, perspective, and awareness. That instantly separates you from the crowd. Because most men react to a woman's appearance. Very few respond to her mind. And when a woman realizes that you're someone who notices how she thinks, she becomes curious about how you think. Conversations deepen. And deeper conversations create stronger attraction. Now there's another layer to this phrase. Mystery. When you say, "There's something about the way you think that I admire," you're not fully explaining what that something is. You leave a little space. A little curiosity. She might ask, "What do you mean?" And if she does, you can answer simply. "It's the way you look at things. It's different. Short. Calm. Genuine. No need to over-explain." Because the power of the phrase is in the recognition, not the explanation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." In other words, the way someone thinks shapes who they become. When you admire someone's thinking, you're acknowledging their inner world. And that's something people rarely hear. Now here's a question for you. Do you think intelligence makes someone more attractive? Not just book intelligence, but the way they see life. Write "Mine matters" in the comments if you believe that. Because the strongest connections between two people almost always begin in the mind. Ideas, conversations, shared perspectives. That's where real attraction grows. And when a woman realizes you appreciate her thinking, she starts seeing you as someone she can connect with on a deeper level. Now we arrive at the sixth phrase. And this one might be the most disarming of them all. Because instead of adding pressure, it removes it. The sixth phrase is this. You don't have to impress me. Think about the world most people live in today. Social media. Constant comparison. Everyone trying to look perfect, sound perfect, act impressive. Women feel that pressure constantly. To be interesting enough. Pretty enough. Entertaining enough. But when you calmly say something like, you don't have to impress me, the entire emotional atmosphere changes. Pressure disappears. Now she can relax. And relaxation is where authenticity appears. You might say it when she's trying a little too hard to keep the conversation exciting. Maybe she's joking a lot, telling stories quickly, trying to keep the energy high. That's when you say it gently. You don't have to impress me. And if you want, you can follow it with something simple. I already enjoy talking to you. Now she realizes something important. She doesn't have to perform. She can just be herself. Epictetus once said, if you wish to be beautiful, first make your judgments beautiful. What he meant was that real beauty comes from character and authenticity. When you remove the need for someone to perform, you invite their real personality to appear. And that's where genuine attraction lives. Because people are most attractive when they feel safe being themselves. Now here's the subtle power behind this phrase. You're communicating confidence. You're showing that you're not easily impressed by surface things. You value authenticity more than performance. And that kind of calm confidence is incredibly attractive. Because when someone feels that you're grounded, that you're not chasing approval, that you're comfortable in the moment, they begin to relax around you. And when someone relaxes around you, connection deepens naturally. Now I want you to think about something. When do you feel most comfortable around someone? When you're trying to impress them? Or when you feel like you can just be yourself? Write real connection in the comments if you believe authenticity creates stronger attraction. Because that's exactly what this phrase encourages. Authenticity. And authentic moments are the ones people remember. Now something important needs to be understood. These 6 phrases are not tricks. They're not manipulations. They're reflections of awareness. Marcus Aurelius said something that perfectly describes this idea. He wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." In the modern world, many people approach attraction like a game. Strategies. Manipulation. Trying to outsmart each other. But the Stoic approach is different. It's about presence. Clarity. Intention. When you speak calmly and sincerely, your words carry more weight. And when a woman feels that calm strength, she becomes curious about you. Because real confidence doesn't shout. It doesn't chase. It doesn't try too hard. It simply speaks with quiet certainty. And that kind of presence is rare. Very rare. Now before we close, I want you to think about the 6 phrases you just heard. Which one do you think would have the biggest impact in a real conversation? Take a moment and write the number in the comments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. I want to see which one resonates with the most people here in the Stoic Quiet Strength community. Because every comment helps this message reach more men who want to improve themselves. Now let's bring everything together. None of these phrases work because they're clever. They work because they come from a different place. Most men talk to women hoping to be liked. But a calm man speaks from awareness. He notices things others ignore. He listens more than he talks. And when he speaks, his words carry intention. That's the difference. These 6 phrases are not magic spells. They are simply ways of showing emotional intelligence, calm presence, and quiet confidence. And when those qualities show up in your words, women feel it immediately. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." In other words, stop trying to appear impressive. Focus on becoming someone whose presence naturally draws people in. When you do that, your words change. Your tone changes. Your energy changes. And people begin to respond to you differently. Now think back to the very first phrase. You have a rare energy about you. What makes that phrase powerful is attention. You're noticing something deeper than appearance. You're showing awareness. The second phrase. I admire women who know what they want. That one shows standards. You're not chasing approval. You're expressing what you value. The third phrase. That's one of the things I respect most about you. That phrase recognizes character. And when someone feels respected, they feel seen in a deeper way. The fourth phrase. You make conversations feel easy. That one builds comfort. It tells her that being around her feels natural. And comfort is where genuine connection grows. The fifth phrase. There's something about the way you think that I admire. That phrase reaches the mind. It shows appreciation for her perspective, not just her appearance. And the sixth phrase. You don't have to impress me. That one removes pressure. It creates emotional safety. When people feel safe being themselves, attraction becomes effortless. Now here's something important. None of these phrases work if the energy behind them is forced. They must come from genuine observation. You must actually listen. You must actually notice things. You must actually care about the conversation. That's what makes the difference. Seneca once said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Preparation in this context means becoming a man who is present, thoughtful, and emotionally aware. When you develop those qualities, moments naturally appear where these phrases feel authentic. You don't force them. You recognize the moment, and you speak. And because your words are sincere, they land differently. Now imagine 2 men talking to the same woman. One tries to impress her constantly. Talking fast. Complimenting everything. Trying to entertain her. The other man is calm. He listens. He observes. And when he speaks, he says something thoughtful, something genuine. Something that shows he actually sees her. Which man do you think stands out? Exactly. Because calm presence always carries more power than noisy effort. Epictetus once said, don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. That sentence captures the spirit of everything we talk about here on Stoic Quiet Strength. Power in silence. You don't need to overwhelm people with words. You simply speak when something meaningful can be said. And when you do, people remember it. Now here's something I want you to try this week. In your next conversation with someone, whether it's a woman, a friend, or even a colleague, pay attention. Notice something about them that others might miss. The way they think. The way they approach a challenge. The way they carry themselves. Then acknowledge it. Say something sincere about it. You'll be surprised how powerful simple recognition can be. Because in a world where most people are busy trying to be seen, the rare person who truly sees others stands out immediately. And that's the kind of man we build here. A man who listens. A man who observes. A man whose words are calm, intentional, and meaningful. Marcus Aurelius wrote something that fits perfectly here. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. If your thoughts are clear, your words become clear. If your mind is calm, your presence becomes calm. And when your presence is calm, people feel comfortable around you. That comfort is the foundation of attraction. Now before we finish, I want to hear from you. Which phrase from this video do you think is the most powerful? Was it the one about energy? The one about respecting her character? The one about her thinking? Or the one about removing pressure? Write it in the comments. Your response might help another man realize something he never thought about before. And if this video made you look at conversations in a new way, take a second to like the video and subscribe to Stoic Quiet Strength. Every like and every comment helps this message reach more men who want to grow, who want to become calmer, wiser, and stronger in the way they move through the world. This channel isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding people. It's about mastering yourself. And it's about learning that true power doesn't come from speaking louder than everyone else. It comes from knowing when to speak, and when silence says enough. So remember this. Choose your words carefully. Speak with intention. Stay calm. And carry yourself with quiet confidence. Because the right woman doesn't need noise to notice you. She will feel your presence. And once she does, she won't forget it. Power in silence.